Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell, and welcome to part 12 of Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate, my Miraculous Ladybug AU with a different origin story and different other things too. If this video is your first exposure to Bonds Beyond Fate, then please check out the story from the beginning. Return for part 12 when you are ready. For everyone else, sit back, relax, hit that like button for the algorithm, subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites, put the invisible emoji in the comments, and enjoy Miraculous Bonds Beyond Fate Part 12. Marinette sat behind the counter at her parents' bakery. She watched the heavy rain as it fell, absent-mindedly admiring the lights being emitted from neighboring buildings peeking through the raindrops. So much had already happened that day, and she was emotionally and mentally exhausted. "We really lucked out today," she thought to herself. "Master Fu can be pretty strict and hard to approach at times, but I'm glad he understands the hot water we're in. If we were being graded on our performance, we'd probably get a C at best." She sighed. "I need to be more responsible with my powers." Tiki poked her head out from where she was hiding. She was politely snacking on a cake pop. "What's wrong, Marinette?" "Oh, sorry for being so quiet, Tiki. I hope you're enjoying your treat?" "Yes, it is quite yummy. How fortunate my sweetie pie new holder is also accompanied by sweets. Though of course, I'd like you just the same even if you didn't live in a bakery." Marinette smiled at her. "Thanks, Tiki. That's good to know. So, what's on your mind? I can tell you're worried about something." Mari blinked. "Can Kwamis sense their holder's emotions?" "To a degree, I suppose. Considering our souls are connected, I have some idea of how you're feeling, but it doesn't come through as loud and clear as my own emotions. In any case, do you want to talk about anything?" Marinette thought about it. "Well, A customer came into the shop. "Hello, welcome." Marinette perked up and greeted them with a friendly smile and tone as Tiki hid herself. After a few minutes, Mari took their order, supplied the goods, and sent them on their way. Once the coast was clear, Marinette spoke lightly to her Kwami. "Is there even a way to become a better hero? Is there a school you can go to? A course of study? Tutoring? A YouTube channel?" She shook her head. "No, wait. That's ridiculous. YouTube didn't exist when the Guardians first got their jobs. Then again, we are in the 21st century. Surely one of them... Wait, no, I'm getting distracted. Yes, YouTube. That world-in-your flattened box in your room where you can watch others partake in frivolity, which was recorded in the past. I particularly enjoyed watching someone make that decadent chocolate cake," Tiki commented. Marinette giggled uneasily. "Wow, you remembered that so eloquently." "Well, I'm not sure about YouTube, but it is usually the job of the Guardian to train both potential holders as well as others willing to learn and live the miraculous lifestyle." Confused, Marinette was about to ask the small creature a question, but just then, another customer came in and she did her best to be completely hospitable, making sure they got what they needed. Once they left, her faux optimism shrunk away to make room for curiosity. "What's the miraculous lifestyle?" "It's a lot to explain, but basically not everyone can become holders of the miraculous. Many of the people who don't go on to continue living their lives as if they were still training to get the opportunity to. Master Fu didn't make this super clear, but there's entire communities of people, families with children, who grow up living the miraculous lifestyle and being completely happy. It's not all about combat and fighting bad guys. It's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on there that creates a whole unique culture." "What kinds of stuff?" Marinette asked. Tiki finished swallowing another bite. "Their education, what they eat, the games they play, the songs they sing, even the kinds of things they do in their downtime. Like I said, it's a culture and way of life." Marinette's eyes widened. "And all of them are trained to be miraculous holders?" "Not all of them, but many of them." The teenage girl grimaced. "There's communities of people more qualified than me to do this job," she mumbled to herself. "How old are people typically when they start training for a miraculous?" Tiki took another bite as she pondered. Somewhere between 10 and 12, I believe. Marinette's spirits sank even lower. There are 10-year-olds who are more qualified than me to do this job. Completely demoralized, Marinette said in a defeatist tone, If you don't mind me, I'm just gonna go stick my head in a giant bowl of batter. Maybe after getting cooked for a bit, I won't be such a half-baked hero. Her head sunk down as she buried it in her arms on the counter. Tiki gave her a sympathetic smile. Don't worry, Marinette. For what it's worth, I think you're doing great for someone who knew absolutely nothing about this world. Don't be so hard on yourself. The Kwami offered the rest of her cake pop to the sad girl. This'll help you feel better. Seeing the offer, Marinette smiled sweetly to the kind creature as she lightly patted her head with her index finger. Thank you, Tiki, but please enjoy it. I made it for you after all. Just then, a customer underneath an umbrella walked in from the pouring weather. Upon letting down the umbrella, Marinette saw that the boy around her age had black hair with cyan tips at the ends. He had bluish eyes to match, donning a relaxed expression on his face. Mari was instantly stricken by how attractive he was as her body unconsciously straightened into attention. As he walked closer, she then nervously blurted out, Hello, my Marinette is name. There was then awkward silence between the two. Her face grew redder and redder upon the realization of what she said. With widened eyes, she curled her lips into a forced grin and inwardly screamed. Much to her surprise, the boy broke down and started laughing, making Marinette only feel more embarrassed. Sorry for laughing, the boy said. I just wasn't expecting that. It's so tonally different from what I just went through. Plus, you gotta see what you look like right now. He took out his phone and pressed the screen a few times. Holding it up to her, Marinette, whose expression hadn't changed, saw what she looked like via the phone's selfie function. Upon seeing it, she couldn't help but relax and laugh at herself as well, helping to ease the tension. I can't believe I actually looked like that, she gleefully exclaimed. Her face still felt hot, but at the same time, it felt good to laugh at that moment. Still chuckling a bit, the boy spoke up. So, I take it your name is Marinette? She nodded. Yep, Marinette Dupenchang. Sorry for acting so weird. It's not the best way to greet a customer. Don't worry about it. You ended up putting a smile on my face, which is a pretty valuable quality for any establishment, no? Still blushing, Mari smiled and avoided eye contact. I'm Luca Kufan. It's nice to meet you, Marinette. Is this your family's bakery, or are you just an unrelated friendly girl who works here from time to time? Your first guess was correct. It's my parents' shop. Every now and then I help with the baking and sales. That's awesome. Well, I decided to stop by because I heard that this was the best bakery in all of Paris, Luca replied. And you'd be right, Marinette enthusiastically and confidently said. No one bakes better than my papa, and that's a fact. Luca warmly grinned at her. So I guess you're the heir to the royal bakery throne? Her energy died down a little as she began to fidget with her fingers. I guess that's technically true. Changing the subject, she said, So, Luca, I've never seen you around before. I mean, Paris is an exceptionally busy city, so it's not like we don't get strangers around here, but you get what I mean, right? He chuckled. Yeah, I get you. You're right, though. I'm not from around here. In fact, I was probably only 3 or 4 when I left France, so I'm not super familiar with things around here. Really? So, where are you from? Japan. And with that, Marinette's eyes widened with a short gasp as the world seemed to pause. Luca continued to talk, but she couldn't discern anything he was saying. He's from Japan? Could he possibly be? Is it possible that he's... She inspected how he looked. He looks just like a regular teenager. Then again, I'm a regular-looking teenager. That doesn't mean anything. Would the Japanese Miraculous users send over a teenager for this mission? Wait, maybe this is just a coincidence. Paris is one of the most popular cities in the world. It's not uncommon to have visitors from all around the world, including Japan. And why wouldn't a visitor come to my parents' shop? Our baked goods are awesome. But what if he isn't just a visitor? Does he know I'm Ladybug? I need to find out. Marinette subtly looked down at the hiding Tiki, but she had a difficult time reading the Kwame's expression. Marinette? Marinette? Snapping back into the present, Mari finally heard Luca calling out to her. Are you alright? You sort of spaced out there. She giggled nervously. Sorry, it's just, I got really worried about something. Oh, is everything okay? He asked with concern. She continued smiling uneasily. Perfect, I think. Coming from behind the counter, Marinette got closer to Luca and slowly walked around him, carefully inspecting him for anything that might look like a Miraculous. Trying not to appear suspicious, Marinette asked, So Luca, you're from Japan, huh? Yeah, that's what I said. Interesting. If you don't mind my asking, how do you feel about accessories? He gave her a confused look. Accessories? Yeah, like rings, necklaces, brooches, earrings. They can be cool. Why do you ask? No reason. It's just that you can tell a lot about someone by what they wear, you know? She continued to walk around him, completely oblivious to the fact that she was a lot more obvious than she intended to be. I see that you wear earrings as well. And you have a ring. A bracelet too. Very interesting. Still confused and understandably a little awkward, Luca asked, Is that a good thing? Are you a fortune teller or something, able to tell someone's future by their accessories? No, nothing like that. I'm just a casual observer. By the way, she pointed to her own earrings. I wear earrings too. They are super special to me. One could call them my lucky charm. Do you have anything miraculous like that? She gave him an exceptionally toothy yet sweet grin as she tried her darndest to not seem suspicious. She stared at him for a few seconds, giving direct eye contact in hopes that she could find some hidden secret. Luca closed his eyes and let out a short chuckle. I see what's going on here. Marinette gulped. You do? He nodded. Relaxing a bit, Marinette began to ask, Does that mean You're secretly a jewelry maker whose passion is in fact making jewelry instead of baking, and you're trying to sell me some of your products. Am I right? Luca happily responded. Marinette's expression fell into disbelief and bewilderment. What? Inspecting her expression, Luca said, Oh, I was way off, wasn't I? The girl sighed. Majorly. Was I wrong about him after all? She asked herself. Wait a second. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I've seen you before. Marinette looked up at him. You have? After thinking about it for a few moments and further inspecting Marinette's face, Luca's expression brightened. Yes, I know who you are now. You're the Marinette Dupanchang, the one from the picture. You have a different hairstyle, but I knew you looked familiar. I totally forgot that this was the bakery where you got that food from. Mari blinked in confusion. I'm sorry. What picture? Luca took out his phone and scrolled through one of the pages. He had to scroll for quite a bit before he found what he was looking for. When he held it up, Marinette was staring at her class photo from her first year at college, Francois Dupont. Huh? She took hold of his phone and intensely stared at the picture. How did you get this? She frantically asked him. Admittedly, she was a little creeped out. My little sister Julika was in your class. She texted this picture over to me not long after she got her own copy. Finally tearing her eyes away from the phone, Mari looked up at Luca. Julika? There was a Julika in our class? She asked herself. He nodded. You know, tall, long black hair, partially dyed purple. It's pink in that picture, but she's going purple nowadays. Part of her hair covers her face. He gestured down to his phone, which was still in Mari's hands. Further inspecting the picture, Mari scanned her previous classmates. Looking past Chloe and Nino, who were in the same class as her that year, she finally spotted a girl who seemed to fit the description. After a few moments of trying to jog her memory, Mari finally looked up at Luca in a panic. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I forgot who she was." Holding his hands up to face his palms towards her, Luca assured, Whoa, it's okay, you're fine. I'm not all that surprised she didn't leave a huge impression on you." He put his hands down. "Julika is the nicest girl you'll ever meet, but she's so shy that she has a hard time making her presence known whenever she's in a room." "That may be so, but still, I feel bad." "Please don't. She wouldn't want you to either." "So then, how do you know about me specifically?" Marinette asked. During the year that photo was taken, Julika was having a hard time adjusting to things and couldn't muster up the courage to talk to anyone. Luca's expression saddened a bit. She didn't have any friends and was super discouraged. But one day, he smiled at Mari. "You came into class and gave everyone a baked good from your family shop. You were the first one to reach out and offer something to Julika in kindness. You may not have known it, but that really left a good impression on her. And when she tasted the treat, it instantly lifted her spirits. From that point on, she paid super close attention to you and your friends. I don't remember the others' names, but I know it was you, that boy with the glasses, and this other girl who isn't pictured. Let's just say you gave her something to aspire to." It wasn't strange for Marinette to come to school with gifts of pastries for her classmates. She did so from once a month to once every other month. She enjoyed sharing her parents' creations as it brought joy to others and because of her pride in her parents' skill. Having done this so many times, she never noticed if one individual person was more affected by the gesture more than others. And for the life of her, she really couldn't remember Julika. Julika, who really just wanted a friend. It touched her to know just how much she meant to the girl. Maybe they could become friends? "Have you had a chance to see your sister? I mean, I don't know if today was your first day in Paris or not." Luca shook his head. "Julika doesn't live around here anymore." "What? Why?" Since she was having such a hard time socializing, our mother suggested that Julika have a fresh start with new people. Julika did her own research and found a new school to attend. In Switzerland. Switzerland? She went all the way there? Yup. She attends an all-girls boarding school called Serval-Montreux. It's quite a nice campus from what I've researched. Oh wow. A boarding school. I never got the chance to talk to her, Marinette thought. How is she doing? Well, Luca crossed his arms as he pondered on that question. About the same. Still having a hard time breaking out of her shell. He sighed. I really do worry about her. I'm sorry about everything she's going through. Marinette gave him a sympathetic smile. But it's super sweet how much you care about your sister. I'm sure she feels just how much you love her. Luca smiled back. Thanks. Do you have any siblings, Marinette? She shook her head. No, I'm an only child, but my best friends Nino and Alia are close to me like siblings, so I don't exactly feel like I'm missing out or anything. And I get a lot of love and support from my parents, so I've got it pretty good. By the way, do you have a plan on visiting Julika? With a slight melancholic expression, Luca replied, As responsible as she feels like I am, my mom understandably doesn't want me crossing country borders on my own. Besides, she wants to see Julika too and hasn't had a chance to get time away from work. Fortunately, I think Julika will be visiting us relatively soon, so it should be alright. And we text almost every day, so I have at least some way of keeping tabs on her and helping her as much as I'm able. And what about your dad? Lucas scratched the back of his head sheepishly. It's complicated. Oh. The two of them then stood in silence for a few moments. Marinette, marinating on things, looked around the bakery, taking note of the different pastries and confectionaries. Eventually, she came up with an idea. Hey, Luca? Is it alright if I write a letter of encouragement to Julika? I feel super bad that I didn't do more for her in the past, so I want to make things right. Would you give me her address so I can send it? She offered his phone back to him. Upon hearing the request and taking his phone back, Luca gave her a wide smile. That'd be great. Julika would love that. Thank you, Marinette. Once again, he scrolled through his phone for some information. I'll go get some paper so that you can write down her address. Actually, if it would be easier, how about I just text the info over to you? Marinette blushed a little. You want my number? Well, yeah. I can't quite text without it. That is, if you want me to have it, of course. If you're more comfortable with me writing the info down, then I don't mind. I don't mind it at all, she said very loudly. He once again chuckled at her reaction. The two of them then exchanged numbers, and Luca immediately texted Julika's address over to Marinette. Got it. Thanks. No, thank you, Marinette. I'm glad that my sister's judgment about you was correct. He closed his eyes as if listening for something. Such a pleasant melody, he told himself. Marinette tilted her head. What was that? Nothing, he smiled to himself. By the way, how come you aren't more suspicious of me getting your sister's address? I am technically a stranger. I could be planning something super unsavory, she said while narrowing her eyes at him. He gave a cheeky grin. How do you know I didn't give you a fake address? Or, he held up his hands, curling his fingers into a claw-like gesture as he bared his teeth in a joking way. What if Julika isn't even my sister and I'm just some weirdo? They both stared each other down. Before too long, they both relaxed their stances and burst out laughing. Luca spoke up first. For real though, if you're only going to write her a letter, I see no harm in it. Besides, he gave her a thumbs up. I'm actually a pretty good judge of character myself. You could call it a special ability of mine. Also, she goes to a fancy private school with top-of-the-line security. I think she'll be fine. Besides, even if anything were up, her big brother would always be there to protect her. Oh, wow, okay, good to know, Marinette chuckled. I suppose even if he were a weirdo, I could just deal with him as Ladybug, she thought to herself. I hope that's not the case though, because he's super nice. Anyway, I'm really glad I came here today. Thank you for being so hospitable, Marinette. She waved at him. Think nothing of it. Oh. Running back behind the counter, she prepared a small bag of treats and then wrapped it with a bow. Here you go. Luca looked at the bag and gave her a sideways smile. But I didn't pay for anything. It's complimentary, she said. Think of this as your welcome to Paris special gift. Will your parents get mad? I don't think so. They encourage kindness and hospitality. Besides, there's not much profit being lost by giving away a few macaroons. Plus, if you love it, and I'm sure you will, you'll be back here in no time to give us your business. She winked at him and put her finger up to her lips. Just don't tell anyone you meet that these were free. Reciprocating her gesture, Luca winked back as he placed his index finger over his lips while politely taking the bag. Not too long after, the boy opened up his umbrella and prepared to leave. The two new friends waved to each other. See you around, Marinette. Come back soon, she kindly replied. And with that, he exited the shop. Later on, in another part of town, Alia, Adrian, and Nino were all hanging out in Alia's room. While Alia and Trix were attending to her lady blog, Nino, Adrian, and Plag were listening to some hip-hop beats coming from Nino's phone. Wow, you really composed that yourself? Adrian asked Nino, completely impressed. Yeah, dude. Sounds awesome, right? More than awesome, Adrian commented. Plag then asked, how did you even do that? A lot of practice, little dude. It's still not at pro status yet, but if I can get heads bobbing, it's headed in the right direction. Music sounds so different these days. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's no camembert, but I think it's good, Plag remarked. It's more than good, it's so cool, Adrian added. But wait, I thought you were Alia's cameraman. If Alia wants to be a reporter, weren't you going to work with her? Being a DJ or music composer is really what I want to do, but if I can help Alia with her dream as well, double bonus. There's never a dull moment when you have a lot of stuff going on. Without turning to face them, Alia told them with confidence, I like a guy who can wear many hats. She then looked intently at a photo on her screen. It was a picture of her and her alter ego, Rena Rouge, posing together. Do you guys think it's tacky that I used my power to take a picture of myself with myself? I mean, no one knows we're the same person, but still. I don't see any inherent problem with it, Trix said. And when you think about it, it'll discourage people from connecting you with Rena Rouge. Exactly. Who says that chasing clout can't also double as a good alibi? You totally understand me, Trix, she patted his head. Plus, you look super cute in that photo, Nino assured. She flirtatiously smiled at him. And my guy knows just what to say. Adrian chuckled in response to what was going on. And then, without warning, Marinette kicked open the door and shouted, Emergency meeting! But as for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more.